Dear MitOst community, Narok! Welcome to Chisinau! My name is Maria Accenti and I will be your guide. I'm an urban explorer and anthropologist and co-founder of the NGO Center of Urbanism. By the way, Narok means hello and also cheers, so it's a good hint for what is to follow, right? I invite you to meet members of the local team who are behind the preparations of the MitOst Festival, as well as friends from the community of active people in Chisinau. They will share their beloved places. First, we'll make some urban explorations to get a feeling of the city, and then we will travel to Riscova, to Eco Village, a special place for resilient communities in Moldova. Let's start exploring Chisinau. It's not Chisinau or Chisinau, it's Chisinau. Somebody call it the city difficult to pronounce. I would call it the city difficult to love. The city of contrasts, the city of paradoxes, of green and grey, of old and new, of ugly and beautiful, but it's my city and I would love to share some piece of it.
Hello, I'm Anna and I'm one of the local people from Chisinau. I'm an activist and just somebody that is happy to spend time here. So I'm going to show you a special place where we used to hang out a lot with my friends and with our group in Chisinau. Cafe Guguța was a Soviet cafe and it was abandoned at the beginning of the 2000s, and in 2018 it kind of became the symbol of local protests against corruption and for democracy, and our kind of collective and group that is called Occupy Guguța started to meet here every time, and it was our spot where we had all our meetings, activities, protests, movie screenings, so we did everything here. And until now, it's one of the places, one of the spots we always meet to hang out. I think this building is important because it's kind of our heritage of socialist modernist architecture, and we are trying to save this building from being demolished and privatized. We want to have it as a public space, as a space where people from Chisinau can meet and hang out. Right now there is a suit against the demolishing of this building, and we and the people of Chisinau really want to save this space. We think it's not only an important spot in our central park, in our oldest park, but it's also a nice symbol of our past, and we would like to transform this building in a community center where all people from Chisinau have access to hang out here and just create nice community and nice activities.
Hi, I'm Aneta and I will show you another great place. are in one of the most artistic and popular public spaces in Chisinau, Artcore, or Keshko Garden. What is special about this place, except its artistic and educational environment, is that here we have the intersection of three periods of Chisinau, represented by these three buildings. An old building that was built in 1858, a Soviet building built in the 50s in which we have a Fine Art Academy, and of course the new building, which is a cultural center built in 2019. It is believed that the old building belongs to one very famous noble family Keshko, and Natalia Keshko, who often visited this building, was the Queen of Serbia in the 19th century. Since the opening of this place in 2019, it has become one of the most popular places of Chisinau. Here often take place exhibitions, workshops, public discussions, different events, and many artistic shows. As well, this is a place where young people hang out. You should definitely visit it and feel its unique atmosphere. And now, Yuan, you have the floor.
Norok, my MitOst friends! Today we are at the water tower of Chisinau with Yuan. When I'm thinking about this place, I remember my mother's words, and she was saying, hey Yuan, if you research your generation tree, the family tree, actually in your generation of cousins, it's possible that you could be a parent of twins. You could say, what is the relation between twins and this actually water tower? But the reality is that these are two identical water towers that exist in Chisinau. Unfortunately, one was destroyed or disappeared from the greed of making the roads larger. Today this place is a nice museum with history of Chisinau on it, on each level showing different periods of local life. So from the balcony you can see the city or the busy life of the city, and on the other side is the park of windmills. And one more interesting point, that the water tower is very widely seen from the EcoVisio office.
Hello, I am Vladimir Ternavsky and I invite you to the Riscova Park. Two things help me clear my mind and truly relax. These are water and nature. That's why I decided to bring you to the Riscova Park. This is not the fanciest place in the Chisinau. On the contrary, it's an island of wild vegetation where the cyclists, fishermen, tennis players, archers meet and rest. This is the place where everyone finds something for their own. This place said hello and goodbye to several generations. Riscova Park turns 50 this year. I love walking along the green paths, cycling on the hills, but most of all I like climbing into remote corners and listening to the sound of nature. When my bridge and I return from the bike trips, this park becomes an intermediate point between the adventure and the city. We sit down for the last time, imagine that we are still in wild nature, and say goodbye to the adventure. If you, like me, don't like the noisy sounds of the city, I invite you to have a walk in this wonderful park on the MitOst Festival 2021. This park and this nature reminds me about good, delicious Moldovan food, and the most delicious, the most organic, natural food you can find on the Piața Centrală, and Julian will show you it.
Merci vouă! Noroc de la Piața Centrală. My name is Julian. I'm a MitOst Festival fan since Uzhgorod in 2008, and I was so happy and excited to show you some remarkable places here in Chisinau. One of those remarkable places, and actually my favorite one, is this one, the Piața Centrală, our central market. For me, the last bazaar in Europe, the last real bazaar from real local people, for real local people, no touristic schnick-schnack, and here you'll find the real treasure of this region, which is a big variety of fruits and vegetables, and if you're lucky, even from Grandma's garden. And beside that, also pieces for your car and anything else you can imagine, you'll find here on this Piața Centrală. And through some wisdom of urban planning, why not put to the busiest point of the city also the central bus station? And that's where we also go, and you'll see the central bus station from where the buses and the maršrutky leave to Riscova. So here, 8 times a day, the maršrutky leave from Piața Centrală to Riscova. I wish you drum bun and a good way to Riscova.
Welcome to Riscova, a chance to discover rural Moldova. Riscova became our home a few years ago and is a very typical Moldovan village of about just over 1,000 people. So I hope you'll discover a little bit of rural life here in Moldova. Our village is small but bubbling with initiatives, like selective waste management started by a few local families. A few years ago, kids from the local school convinced the mayor's office to transform an abandoned site into a community park. Today, most of our community events, like Potato Fest or Village Dance, are hosted at the park. To get a better feel of rural life and to support local economy, you could stay with a friendly host family or take a gastronomical tour through the village, tasting homemade cheese or pickles. And here's EcoVillage Moldova and EcoVisio Training Center. It's a hub connecting people interested in energy efficiency, eco-construction, permaculture, social entrepreneurship and community building. It's a place to experiment and exchange ideas or practices. We organize regular seminars, practical workshops for youth, farmers, local public administration and others. EcoVisio Training Center connects alumni of educational programs and facilitates the growth of initiatives. One of those initiatives was building a marked trail through the forest with local youth and international volunteers. Another such initiative I could introduce you right now.
Two years ago we came, I came to visit with 4 horses and I stayed here. And then a bit later, Annie came to visit and she stayed here too. So it can be a very catchy place. But the most useful, I think, is that EcoVillage can be a nest, a home for very young and quite courageous initiatives. We came here with 4 salvaged horses and we needed a home, a shelter. But we got more than this. We got a community, and from one side we want that horses have a nice, healthy and safe place to live, but from another side we want them to be able to help the community and help the people discover themselves through the interaction of horses. And this is what we're working on right now, to have a first generation of alumni with whom we can help the hundreds and maybe thousands of horses in the villages of Moldova that are currently suffering and actually going extinct, unfortunately. So this is what we're working on here, and we're very happy that we found such a place that goes very well with the horses. And honestly, I do like the life in the village.
В этом году мы успели запастись большим количеством разных вкусняшек, и варенье, и крутые чаи. Так и быть, мы поделимся.